guys, it's been a hot like 3 months since I've last posted. I hope you're doing well. Well, as you have seen from the title and thumbnail, I've decided to quit my job as a program manager at Amazon. It's a really nerve-wracking decision. For the past few months, I've kind of just been dealing with that anxiety and doing so by developing my own business, Small Batch Cookie Co. I feel like I'm finally at a place where I can feel hopeful about the future and kind of excited about finally quitting. This is the first one of a vlog series called Quitting My Job Diaries, so I'll be documenting my entire journey up until when I hand in my notice in February and my last day of work a month after that. I came back to Beijing from Guangzhou in early October. Back then there were still lockdowns everywhere, and for not the first time but the second time I was refused from boarding a plane to go back home because of pandemic control. It was very frustrating. It made me really want to leave China, but at the end of the day I made it back and it just felt so good to be back in Beijing. It was the fall, my favorite season of the year. The leaves are turning yellow and I felt like every hutong was welcoming me back. So very soon I started baking properly again with the appropriate amount of counter space. Around that time I started contemplating what I like to do and what I don't like with Small Batch Cookie Co. There's a term called job crafting where you find the parts that you like about your job and find more of those things to do and find the parts where you don't like and do less of those. Now that I've decided to quit corporate, I don't want to be further down in my business and then find a big part of it is again doing what I don't like. After about a year of experimenting, I realized I don't like the repetitive labor of baking. I love the marketing aspect. I love thinking about business and operations and constantly trying to optimize. So I want to build Small Batch Cookie Co as a brand, something that brightens up people's days. In October, I organized Small Batch Cookie Co's very first offline event in Beijing.
1, 2, 3.
It was really difficult to organize an event, but it was also very fulfilling, seeing people leave the event a lot happier than when they came there. Organizing the event actually required quite a lot of project management skills. It's something that I've forced to learn from all the corporate jobs I've done that I've hated. At least now I get to put those skills to a much better use. At the end of October, it was Halloween. I'm not a party girl, but this Halloween I dressed up as Evelyn from Everything Everywhere All at Once. I was very proud of this outfit, but very few people recognized me as Evelyn from the movie. Cookie sales went terribly.
So far, I've sold 1.
I sold a total of 2 cookies.
There's so many people, but they're just not looking this way. I mean, they are looking this way. I think they're just not comfortable talking to me.
I was standing at the busiest intersection in Beiluo Guxiang. I was selling cookies around the same area last year, but this year there were a lot more tourists taking photos of the golden leaves. For the first time ever, I was actually very happy with sales going terribly. I just really enjoyed observing people's reaction. Perhaps they're judging me for my appearance.
I'm gonna try to take off the eye to see if that makes it more likely for people to talk to me, because I might be a little bit too weird for this hutong right now. So
perhaps they are curious about the cookies.
People are a bit skeptical, so I'm gonna write free samples.
And perhaps they're a little bit in shock about the contrast between my very tacky outfit and the edgy pink shopping cart. I like that my actions provoked thoughts in other people's heads, and I want to further explore that connection.
举个破手机，这是瞎怎么着的？上班挣那碗粥钱去，就不说不够啊！ 对，
哇，
为什么这条街这儿呢？就这几棵树黄的早。
真的好好看啊！
Lately, I have picked up Hannah Arendt's The Human Condition again. When I first read the book, it was for a college class. Not exaggerating, this was a life-changing book for me. In it, she discussed the distinction between three fundamental components of the human condition: labor, work, and action, where labor is doing what you need to survive, work is adding objects of permanence into the world, action is individuals expressing their polarity. I'm starting to see all three in Small Batch Cookie Co. Perhaps the reason why I've been so unhappy in all of my corporate jobs is that when I first entered the corporate world, I was very ambitious. I wanted to build something I'm proud of and I want to weave meaning into my work. But then I kind of realized no matter how hard I try, I'm just a cog in the giant corporate machine. I guess quite unfortunately, in my case, there was nothing I could do to make corporate anything more than just labor. So since realizing that I had just been working for nothing but a paycheck, and it's just been very draining and unfulfilling, it's led me to have to find something else outside of my day job, something that's more nurturing and inspiring. November kicked off with a market, which was a very special one for me because for the first time I had the Small Batch Cookie Co logo on my tablecloth. I've been procrastinating on this for a full year. I always thought in the back of my head, oh my gosh, it's such a mammoth task. The night before this market, in a pinch, I just drew the logo with a marker and it turned out looking great. So I really need to stop overcomplicating things in my life.
When you see the table as a customer, it looks like this, but then for me, this is what it looks like.
In November, I also organized an event about work to help people feel like they are not alone in feeling like work is not fulfilling and hear other people's ideas on what they are doing to deal with that feeling. This was the second event ever by Small Batch Cookie Co. Also took a ridiculous amount of effort to organize.
对，给我一个小的工作。I got you on camera wiping your nose.
This event was a collaboration with a feminist art group in Beijing called Piece of Cake. It was held in Chinese because the vast majority of our audiences are Chinese speaking. I really want to include all of you in events I organize offline too. Maybe next time I'll try live streaming, maybe I'll try hosting something online, hosting an event in English. That's something I'm really excited to figure out once I quit my day job. I've always been scared to call Small Batch Cookie Co a business because in the back of my head, I am scared that someone might call me out one day and be like, this is not a real business, you just bake cookies. Even though no one in real life ever said that to me, I've had to work very hard to battle that voice in my own head. But seeing people coming out for Small Batch Cookie Co's events and being so engaged, I can finally believe I'm not just baking cookies. Not that there's anything wrong with just baking cookies. I don't know how that idea got into my head, but now I feel like I have something that's worth quitting my job for, which is also a weird notion because it's perfectly okay to quit because you're not happy or because it's just not a good fit. I'm a chronic overthinker and I am terrified of stepping into an unknown. If I learned anything for the past couple of months of just trying out different things is that when you're scared, take action. Even though I didn't really know what I was doing or where anything I do would take me, trying them out helped me figure out what I like, what I don't like, and it really helped get the name of Small Batch Cookie Co out there. I think what I should really be telling myself right now is when you're scared of quitting your job, you should just quit instead of waiting until February. But these things are always easier said than done. Throughout November, Small Batch Cookie Co has been really hard at work to put together an underground indie music show for deaf people. Why on earth are we doing this? The very first coffee shop that carried Small Batch Cookie Co. products, Quanxi Coffee, is owned by a deaf person, Jackie. He has now moved into Nugget to offer the daytime part of the cafe called Silence Coffee, which created this really interesting situation where if you go to the space during the day, it's completely silent because Jackie wants people to experience what it's like to live in a world of silence. But if you go to the same place at night, it becomes a music venue or what's called a live house in China for indie music. I think it's wild how two completely separate worlds exist in one space and are separated only by time. I want to bring them together, which turned out to be a lot more hard work than I had expected. Putting on an accessible music show involves, and not to bore you with the details, finding a performer, finding sign language performers, translating the English lyrics into Chinese and then into Chinese sign language, making lyric prompters to help the performers follow the beat without hearing the music. Find a sign language translator very last minute because I didn't realize that was something that was needed. Connecting a performer online because they were locked down.
We have a live stream station.
Wi-Fi controls the mixing desk.
Then we have this vintage TV here. We also have a laptop set up to call the person who needs to connect online, so they'll be able to know what's going on through this screen, and then we'll just broadcast her image from the video call over to the TV.
I didn't expect how happy the performers were on stage. This was the first time in my life that felt like something I did mattered so much for someone else.
Do you have enough time to confess about what you did?
So yeah, that's where I'm at now. Thank you for listening through my really long monologue. I kind of just wanted to put this video together to share with you what I've been up to. Thank you for your patience when I didn't post for the past few months. For the rest of December, Small Batch Cookie Co. is putting together a gift box for charity to raise fund for coffee training for a deaf person who wants to be a barista. If you're interested in learning more about the story behind the gift box or placing an order, I'll put a link in the descriptions. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!